spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maidenheads and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly if your eldest daughter needs a friend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maidenheads and she'll match him up. Call on
Dolly Levi. That's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi. Born Gallagher, social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family introduced under the most respectable conditions. In an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object. Matrimony! Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband, Ephraim Levi, always said, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention I'm available for a financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, and, varicose veins reduced.
Call on Dolly. She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maidenheads and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Mrs. Levi.
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Here's one of Ada Rehan looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding, and not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband, Mr. Levi, always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
Oh, I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half of New York says he's gonna propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper. I could take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll see. And well, what do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with. Well, only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I have some change here somewhere, Mrs. Levi. I only hope this isn't some wild goose chase.
And speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi.
Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maidenheads and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all of this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows it's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic arts turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge when I put my hand in here. Woo! Now you go buy our tickets, get a window seat, order lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I am going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, the way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. I'm tired of living from hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi.
Sometime today. Now, don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde.
How?
I don't know. One thing will lead to another. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles. Then I make my knuckles active. He says she's so attractive. Then I move my index digit, and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in
expected to play Yonkers, my Yonkers, with all that bellowing in my ears.
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. And in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent.
No.
And don't cry in the store.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Then by thunder, you'll go and weep for a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oiled.
You're so mean.
Brother. Cornelius, Barnaby.
You stand for Mr. Vandergelder?
I did, and I got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
Oh, I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, mine. I mean, I'm getting married again, and in honor of that occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what. And I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's the way you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir. You'll attend to the store as usual. Now get back to work, and don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off. Marrying artists. Foolishness. 99% of the people in this population are fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, then got married, which was foolish, then became poor, which was more foolish than anything else. Then my wife died, which was foolish of her. Then I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're wondering now, why a man of so much good sense should be planning anything as foolish as getting married again. The answer's simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered in pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft-dressed fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and bluing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaning the Guernsey and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for femininity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y.
Femini! And in the winter, she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, for whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking?
That dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman,
A husky woman
to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
All right, out of here, all of you.
Here, Mr. Vandergelder.
Thank you.
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you've practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Oh, did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. By that, I mean, you know what people said. Although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Well, nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoons of the chowder she made special for him, and piffed! But it could happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. You mean to say that Mrs. Malloy
I mean to
poisoned...
say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. Oh, by the way, she's ordered her wedding gown beautiful. You should see it. Black. Well, as I said before, Mr. Vandergelder, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in, may God and angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Now look here, Mrs. Levi, you introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I still intend calling on her this afternoon as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder, then there's nothing more for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name?
Her name. Money! Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will, hair as shiny as a newly minted dime.
Oh.
Eyes as big, round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19, yes. Weight 102,
Cha-ching.
Waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange for you to meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
I haven't got time, Mrs. Levi. I got to take my niece Ermengarde to New York this afternoon until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
Well, I could do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
And then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
Well, what an amazing coincidence! Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 14th Street, Miss Money.
No.
Yes, her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi, I'll meet Miss Money at the parade. But I still intend paying another call on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear. What races you make me run. Very well, Mr. Vandergelder. I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing, Mrs. Levi. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money either.
Well, then I happen to have one more name on my list, Mr. Vandergelder. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not go into that now. It'll come up by itself all in good time. Don't you worry about it. But wait until you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision. A dream.
It takes a woman all powdered in pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft resting fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. Da 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 da. Oh yes, it takes a. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, we've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk, and if I'm good in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old, and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You could live on holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what we did last Christmas? All those canned tomatoes went bad and exploded, and you and I cleaned up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean like close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses! How do you know?
I'm going to light this candle under them. That's how I know. Oh, they'll make such a smell, customers won't be able to come into the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening free. Oh, we're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're going to live. We're going to have a good meal. We're going to be in danger. We're going to spend our money. We're going to be arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we've each kissed a girl.
Oh, Cornelius, you know you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. I've got to begin sometime.
Well, I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby?
Nope.
Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway,
Nope.
The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
No. A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale. What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing is to make you financially independent. I know I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm a painter, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, painters taught how to dance?
Now there's a man, Rudolph Weisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note for him, and we'll see if he can't have you both entered in the polka contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
No fiancé of mine is going to step foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying this, Mrs. Levi, but I'm surprised that you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends, dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life and any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night like clockwork, down those stairs at the Harmonia Gardens we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all well and good to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vandergelder we mean business. Now, you go to the Harmonia Gardens this afternoon and say Mrs. Levi sent you. Oh, and incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back. And I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight. Now let's get you packed.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on top. Not too close. Oh, they're swelled up like they're ready to bust. Ooh, holy cabooses, I can smell it up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby.
Oh, holy cabooses.
Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town on one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's, and we'll close the town in a whirl, and we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Strut down the street and have your picture took. Dressed like a dream, your spirit seemed to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you
once all the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes.
Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and balls. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York. Elevated train, Barnaby, the lights of Broadway.
Holy cabooses!
Stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum. Wow! Come on!
Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Straight down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream you'll see where it seems you turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel is fine to us. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes. Beneath your bowler brim, the world's a simple song. A lovely note that makes you tilt your nose. Get out your slickers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and hose. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Urban Guard, stop sniveling! Don't cry on the valises! We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Lovely, you're improving. Now get all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late! All aboard!
All aboard! All aboard! All aboard! Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on your silk cravat and patent shoes. We're gonna feel adventure in the evening air. To town we'll trot to a smoky spot where the girls are hot as the fuse. Put on your high silk hat and on the turnbuckle. Wear a handmade bracelet, button glove. We'll join the actors at Tony Passes and this I'm positive of. Now we won't come home. Now we won't come home. Now we won't come home until we fall in love. Put on your high silk hat and on the turnbuckle. Wear a handmade bracelet, button glove. We'll join the
Wow, holy cabooses!
Dear, oh my, will you look at that? 10 o'clock and the shop's not open yet. It's all because of the impending marriage, I tell you. What marriage? Oh, I thought you knew. Why the marriage which Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known Yonkers half-a-millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. Oh, may he rest in peace. Wherever he is, I'm not sure. Oh, it's all too much, what with late husbands and new marriages. And on top of everything else, Miss Mortimer returning this hat for the third time. Same old story, she wants more cherries and feathers. Cherries and feathers to catch a beau, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do better with a nice heavy veil. Oh, I told her ribbons down our back is what we will be wearing this summer if we want to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers she wants. On today, of all days, when that poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough on her mind, what with?
With what, Minnie?
With the door. It's stuck.
It's stuck?
Uh-huh.
Then push.
And as I was saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and the things I'm going to say. But as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why?
Oh, say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder?
Mrs. Malloy, I didn't ask you that. I would rather die on the rack than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it up.
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get away from the millinery business. I hate hats.
Mrs. Malloy.
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Mrs. Malloy.
Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. Well, that's why I can't go into restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no. Not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
Oh, no, Minnie. Leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
Mrs. Malloy, you can't. You're a widow. And that hat, well, it's provocative. That's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today, and provocative may be just what I want to be.
Mrs. Malloy! Mrs. Malloy!
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer. Blue and green and streaming in the yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by. And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back
Malloy. Wild horses couldn't make me ask this next question that I'm about to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyhow. Do you love Horace Vandergelder?
Oh, no, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love. And, well, I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman as long as it's true love, and, well, it was that. Minnie, look! There's two men staring in the shop. Men? Why, I do believe they need to come in here.
Men in the shop! Oh, Mrs. Malloy, what shall we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course.
Mrs. Malloy, and you with all that talk about love.
Oh, love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. Oh, we'll get them all heated up, and then we'll drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, you go into the workroom, Minnie. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances. Oh, besides, a bit of a wait will only make them nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire. And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July. Because a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet!
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long we wander around New York and nothing happens. And then we come to the quietest street in the city and suddenly...
Vandergelder!
Is he still out there? Oh, go look.
He's sitting on that bench. Oh, Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it, all right?
Oh, maybe I wouldn't, Cornelius.
I'll tell you what. Let's arrange a signal. I'll say to you, pudding! I'll say pudding to you if it's an adventure we're in.
Pudding?
Yes, pudding! And how much money have you got left?
Oh, not much, Cornelius. Let's see. 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. That's about 90 cents. Why?
When those women come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is to make them think we're rich. Then we won't have to spend anything. We're just two men about town, looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
Well, my pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, you see, we're two ladies about town looking for some hats to Malloy.
What he means is that we're hats, you see, and we wanted to buy a lady or two to Malloy.
Oh, we want a hat for a lady, of course, and everybody said go to Mrs. Malloy because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1 would still leave us enough to see the whale.
You've got to pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
It's sitting on that bench.
Excuse me, but did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And forgive me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers. And by that I mean perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers, too?
I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! Oh, that's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. I mean on you, of course, not Mr. Malloy, may he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. What was that? Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Oh, it's always so foolish to ask in cases like that, isn't it?
So foolish.
It's Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Vandergelder's hay and feed?
Do you know him?
No,
Horace
who's that?
Vandergelder.
Mr. Vandergelder is a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
A lovely man, just lovely, Mrs. Malloy. Has only one fault, as far as I know. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius?
Now, I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Barnaby, get under the table, roll!
Under the table? Oh, here.
We'll explain everything later, Mrs. Malloy. Just help us, please.
What? Come out of there this instant.
Where's innocence can be, Mrs. Malloy? Cornelius? Pudding?
Pudding?
Pudding!
Well, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, I insist that both of you come out of there or I'll be forced to... Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me 10 minutes ago on that bench. Well, she can just go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here's a gift for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men? Oh, men, Mr. Vandergelder. What would men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Well, Mr. Vandergelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I understand you have 3 friends, all hard as nails. Yoop-de-doop-de-doo!
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, why, Yonkers. I hear it's a very beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Oh, nobody, a friend.
What friend?
Oh, well, you see, he...
He?
A customer, Mr. Vandergelder. Someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. You might even know him, although it's usually silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Ow! Why, yes.
Why, he happens to be my head clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation for this.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't she know Cornelius Hackle? Everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the opera, in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's got only $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The
The
Panama.
Erie. Both.
It's not the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's hole? I can't say it, but it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Oh, Dolly, what are you saying? I've only seen him once in my life.
Excuse me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Minnie, don't you worry about it, dear. Just go back and show her.
Now, if there's a man in that closet...
No! Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me, Mrs. Levi. Stand aside.
No man, indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles. I can see them now rippling back and forth under your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Back and forth, ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. That's exactly what the court will want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch. More orphans, take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's tramping through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at 14 years of age as an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people. And I must echo here what was said by the great and patriotic American I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing you. You see him on the bridge at Waterloo. Neath that great triumphal arch. If you hear him singing Dixie in the sugar cane, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for
Alamo, remember the Alamo. I regret that I've a life to give for my country. In the words of Lincoln, one if by land and two if by sea. Yes, that I chopped that cherry tree down. Oh, Stonewall Jackson, glory, glory, hallelujah. Stand up and march, march,
407 years ago.
march, march, march.
To form a more perfect union.
March, march! Forget the torpedoes! Full speed ahead! March, march, march! So you see, Mr. Vandergelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet.
Achoo!
God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy!
All right, Mr. Vandergelder, there is a man in that closet.
Aha!
And another under that table.
What the devil?
There also happens to be a very simple explanation, but for the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord! The whole room's crawling with men! I'll never get over it! I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Levi. Is this yours?
I don't know, it's really funny, really. Like I said, it was for
Mrs.
the
Malloy,
money.
I can explain
I
everything.
do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the pleasure of leaving my shop at once, or I send for Officer Gogarty.
Well, if you ask me, Irene, calling an officer is letting them off too easy. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnished sheet. Now, the main thing is to show that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishy afterwards.
Well, if it must be, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a very nice restaurant in the railway station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, well, it's good enough for us. Oh, they say they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
Oh, we couldn't go there, Mrs. Malloy. Now, don't misunderstand me. It isn't the money or anything like that. It's the whale. It's the whale. No, it's not the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, they have dancing in a place like that, exhibitions, even contests, and I don't know how. It would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerks, taught how to dance.
Now, it's very simple. You put one arm here and one arm
it's
here.
no use. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. We'll start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Now it's simple. Right foot touch, left foot touch, under, back, around, touch, back, through, around, behind, out, and over.
Oh, dear.
Release. Release! Unfurl! That's wonderful. When I think of all the lucky women who'll find heaven in your arms.
Thank you.
Let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Look, I'm dancing. Whoa, oh my God. Well, at least I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing.
Turn around and turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Look at me! I, Cornelius Hackle, sport am dancing!
Or next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and step, and then step and glide.
And everyone, stand aside!
He's dancing!
Oh my goodness.
You could learn to polka if you worked a week or so. Or the tango, filled with passion seething.
I might join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Whatever you do, for gosh sakes, keep breathing.
Woo!
For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Oh my God, Bruce's, we're dancing!
When there's someone you hardly know, but wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you've only just said hello, he's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave the spell, whirl away your worries. Things look almost twice as well when you're slightly blurry.
As around and around you go, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? long time since you've been here, Mrs. Levi. A very, very long time. Ephraim Levi, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every evening for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum toddy. And before I went to bed, I said a prayer thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. Then, one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized I was like that leaf. For years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so, I have decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I've got to get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by.
Cornelius is taking us down to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
Why, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will.
Before the parade passes by, I've got to go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I've got to get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life. With the rest of them, with the best of them, I can hold my head up high. For I've got a goal again, I've got to drive again. I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again. Before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
When the parade passes by, listen and hear that brass harmony growing. When the parade passes by, pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow
she is beautiful. Everything you said and more. Don't move, Miss Money. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Hey, you. Cut that out. Stop. Thief. Pickpocket. Oh, put that back, you. Oh, I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Oh, Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Well, nothing to get upset about, Horace. A last-minute substitution. Miss Money had a sudden, urgent business appointment at the Mint. They ran a little short, and she's helping out. But she'll meet you at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
But that's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And well, it should be. What food and the fastest waiters in New York. By the way, I might be a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in the front of the restaurant. Just wait until you see her, Horace, all in buttercup yellow, with baby pink shoes, humming an old-fashioned tune, yes? Sweet Rose O'Grady. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly, but only because I already paid for the introduction, and I might as well get my money's worth. But from this point on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you are just a woman like anyone else.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
Mr. Hackle, we've just loved looking at the lights of 14th Street these past 4 hours. But now perhaps you better call a hack, or we won't get to the Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, look, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
Oh, we couldn't do that, Mrs. Malloy. Now, don't misunderstand me. It isn't the money or anything. No! It's just that nowadays, really elegant people never take hacks.
Hacks is out.
They all go by streetcar.
You know, like J.P. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Then by all means, a streetcar.
Imagine, just think, I've been elegant all my life and never knew it.
Of course, if you really want to be elegant,
We do.
you walk.
Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never, ever carry it off.
All who are well-bred agree Minnie Fay has pedigree.
Exercise your wild swims tonight. We are out with diamond gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for beating us. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never, ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of it, savoir-faire. We reek of it, some were born with rags and patches, but we use dollar bills for matches and
Vanderbilt, cowtows to us.
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us. We've got elegance, we were born with elegance.
Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
And the way I keep my pinky up in view the doubly proves.
elegance, and with elegance, we'll carry it on. Elegance, if you ain't got elegance, you can never, ever carry it.
Ow! Ow! Holy cabooses!
Got elegance. Oh, we've got elegance.
Oh, look, Minnie, they're counting their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us in?
Certainly, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby.
You got it. Holy cabooses!
Mrs. Malloy?
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
Mrs. Malloy, as we start inside, may I
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle. But I might as well warn you, a corset is a corset.
Holy cabooses.
Sweet Rosie O'Grady! My sweet little Rose! Want a candy?
No.
Okay. Come on. Come on.
Oh, no, it's
Come on,
it's
let's
really
go.
fine. I have a cane. I can walk.
Can you weep a little faster? You're throwing me off step.
And it is my order as head waiter of the Harmonia Gardens, and your supreme commander, that tonight of all nights, our usual lightning service will be twice as lightning as ever, or else. I trust you'll find this table satisfactory, sir. The private dining rooms cost a bit more, but they do afford the best view of the entertainment.
$1, Cornelius? That's all there's left?
Are you sure? Oh, count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
Oh, I did make a mistake, Cornelius. It's only 90 cents. I'll count it once more.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. A waiter!
I have told you already, sir, you will have to move. This table is reserved for Mrs. Levi und Patty.
And who do you think I am? Only a Horace Vandergelder-owned party? She's in my own party, I'm not in hers.
Mr. Vandergelder, of course. It's just that Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about you bringing your...
My personal physician? That's enough, doctor.
but Mrs. Levi ordered chicken for 2.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
Und Pate Mason, Saucisson, und Palm Soufflé.
Why didn't you tell me this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice now. Get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry a respectable something in your belt.
Yeah, $2 only. It's in my garter.
It's sweet of you to worry about our reputations, Cornelius, but Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
Oh, I couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Oh,
Holy
great grindstones, what a
cabooses.
sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread. Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say, why the closed curtains? Are you ashamed of something?
It's not that. I just felt a slight chill, that's all.
Ah, well, why didn't you say so?
No,
Yeah, I'll loan you this. Now, let's order something to hold us till the rice comes. Waiter! Can I get a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some lady fingers? Now, what'll you have? Hey, you with the big ears! What are you doing after the show?
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestions, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute, no wine.
No wine.
No wine?
Champagne.
Champagne?
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream and hothouse peaches. And Barnaby, give a nickel to the band leader and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We'll want music while we dine.
Say, this is a cafe, isn't it? Let's dance!
No! The Vandergelters do not dance, Miss Money. We are Presbyterian.
All right. I'll dance myself. Give him $2 to the band leader, will ya? And tell him to play something refined. I'm gonna do the hoochie-coochie!
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band. Just promise you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll tell them to play an ice waltz. Look, you. Give this to the band leader and tell him to play a nice waltz.
Here's a nickel for the band leader. Could you tell him to play,
Two more pheasants, please.
Cornelius!
Wait a minute. My purse!
My wallet!
Here, you! That's my purse! I don't know you!
That's my wallet. I know it's mine because, well, there's nothing in it but 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and, Cornelius. Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants? Make it 3. No, 4. No, 5. Pheasants for the house! And never mind we don't see a whale. I'll buy one my own. Yay! Woo! Hooray!
Sir!
What's this shouting? This is the Harmonia Gardens restaurant. Not one of those.
But sir, the lady, she's here.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Just like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock on the nose. Up pulls the carriage, and out comes a lady in a red dress.
It's she, Mrs. Levi. She's back.
Rudolph, is it true? I heard someone laughing outside the kitchen window, and it sounded like...
It is. It's Dolly. She just stepped out of her carriage. Fritz Hauserband.
Oh my goodness, Dolly's back!
It is. She just stepped out of a white and gold carriage, pulled by 6 black horses with scarlet blue.
Just be another woman in a red dress.
Oh, it's
Who else becomes so elevated in a
She's here!
But now that I'm back in the lights of 14th Street, tomorrow will be brighter than the good old days. shuffle. Out, out, in, out, in, clap. You guys are good.
Dolly.
A little to the right, a little to the left.
Like the song.
Bring it home, Dolly! Woo!
It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly. We've been drowned, Dolly. You're still glowing, you're still glowing, you're still going strong. I hear the eyes see the lights twinkle, and you still get glances from us handsome men. So
Wow, 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 fella.
Hey, yeah.
Look at the old girl now, fella.
wow, Dolly, you'll never go away
One more time!
See the lights twinkle, and you still get glances from us handsome men.
Excuse me, girlie. Dolly? Dolly Gallagher? What are you doing in that getup? And you're half an hour late. And I demand an explanation for...
Ernestina.
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wants it to do the hoochie coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particular want you to see. No, don't let's say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted? A chicken. And now see here, Mrs. Levi, about that hoochie coochie girl.
Oh, did you say a chicken? No, I don't think I could face a chicken. Not a chicken. Not today. Not after what's happened.
Good. Then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking the place over. Getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always wanting to know everything. Always putting your nose into other people's affairs. Anybody who'd married you would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who'd married you...
Horace Vandergelder, get that idea right out of your head this minute. I'm surprised that you even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But if I had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. However, we won't discuss it anymore. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Mr. Vandergelder Rudolph. Oh. Here's some white meat for you. And dumplings, lighter than air they are. And some giblets, very tender and very good for you. Now, as I said before, you go your way and I'll go mine. Oh, start right in on the wine. I think you'll feel better at once. However, since you brought the matter up, there's one more thing I'm going to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say before we forget all about it. It's true. I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I wouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well, let's not say another word about it. Have some beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's good. No, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age, my age? You're always talking about my age.
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers with bad food and a bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, they're good.
I don't like beets, I hate beets.
That's nice. Yes, the pity of it is you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
Oh, but you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now, sit down, Horace, and let's talk of something else. Come on. But before we change the subject, there is one more thing I am going to say.
I don't want to hear it, and you're wasting your time, Dolly Levi. I won't ask you to marry me.
I suppose that means you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace, I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me cut your wings.
I don't want my wings cut.
No man does, Horace. No man does.
I got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
Oh, you can't go now. The competition's about to begin.
Here's the money to pay for the dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. I've lost my purse.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
It's Vandergelder's. Oh, Cornelius, we better get out of here.
Oh, no, what am I going to do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Horace, it's the latest thing, a polka. And there's one dancer I particularly want you to see. Rudolph, move our table right down front so Mr. Vandergelder can better observe his graceful movement. But I don't want to be on stage. I just want to get married.
You heard Mrs. Levi. This is the only way to show your uncle we mean business. Now dance.
Wait a minute, that dancer,
Isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
Here, you! Waiter! That's my purse! Get back here! I know you have it!
Come along, Mrs. Malloy. It's been a perfectly wonderful evening, but I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it a bit short.
Maybe a polka. Cornelius, I said we must have one dance.
But Vandergelder, we've got to go.
We will go, but we'll dance our way out.
Woo!
Vandergelder.
Ermengarde! Dolly, Levi, this is your doing. What is the meaning of this?
Mr. Vandergelder, I can explain everything.
I don't want to hear any explanations, boy. You're fired!
Officer, arrest this man!
Come on. I got you.
That's better. Now, you're all charged with disturbing the peace, assault and battery, inciting to riot, and several other equally serious violations of the law of this city.
Yeah.
What? I think you got it wrong. Stay quiet now. Is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? I say,
I'm wearing a carpet.
is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Mrs. Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests. There's no need to call witnesses, ladies and gentlemen, when I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose. I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen, a nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Would you turn this way a bit, Your Honor, so we can get a better look at your beacon?
That is one nose, I must say. That's
a living symbol of the motto of this great land, E proboscis unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients and a verdict of guilty from the only real culprit, Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly!
The one...
Yeah, you deserve that.
The one man responsible for these grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
A curtain torn, a waiter bruised, and a solid gold cup bent.
Yeah! Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Pardon me, Mrs. Levi, but if it please the court, I have something to say.
I was just about to call on you, Mr. Hackle. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, you will be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
I will do it again.
You've done it again, too, but even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. Now, I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting to riots, but what I do know is that what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that can happen to a man, might never have happened if I'd obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I'm talking about none other than love.
You mean to tell me that after 33 years, you fall in love because you take one evening off?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening, an hour. No, even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second.
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat, cooped up in Yonkers for years and years, and all the time, wonderful people, like Mrs. Malloy, were walking around New York, and I didn't know them at all. I don't know if you can see from where you're sitting, but for instance, the way her eye, forehead, and cheek all come together up here. Can you? Oh, I tell you right now, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. Now, you can talk all you like about Niagara Falls or the pyramids, but they aren't in it at all. And of course, I've seen women before, but today, I talked to one. Equal to equal, and they're so different from men. And awfully mysterious, too. I bet you could know a woman 100 years without ever really being sure whether she liked you or not. Today, I've lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that people think is important, but I don't care. Even if I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Takes a moment, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment.
He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe and strong. It
Dismissed. You're all dismissed. All except Horace Vandergelder, Yonkers, New York. You're free, my children. Free? And God bless you. Y'all free to go.
Very warm courtroom.
You can see the prisoner now, Mrs. Levi.
Well, Horace, that's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. It looks like there's only one more thing to say.
If it's to ask me to marry you, Dolly Levi, never, never in a million years will I ask you to marry me.
Oh, that wasn't it at all, Horace. all I wanted to say to you was goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Now hold on, Dolly.
It's too late, Horace. I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say.
Wait.
But
Hey.
goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Dolly, really, I mean, I...
Don't try to stop me, Horace. Please. Wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie. You ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't you come a-knocking at my door. For I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says you dug.
Hey!
I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie. Should have said so long ago. Because you treated me so rotten and rough, I had enough of feeling low. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie. Should have said so long ago. My Horace. For I can hear that choo-choo calling me on to a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on board that Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn the hoochie cooch and smoke a cigarette. I'm going as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get. So and on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a-knocking, I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says you dog, I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago. Ha!
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you were the last woman on earth. Yeah, not if you asked me 1,000,000 times. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. Dolly Levi, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Oh, Dolly, Dolly, Dolly!
Ahem.
What? Oh, so it's you, is it, Mr. Hackle? Come crawling back, have you?
No, Mr. Vandergelder, I just stopped by for my $146.35. You see, I've decided to go into business for myself, and since the only business I know is hay and feed, I'm opening my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandergelder, right across the street from you.
So you think you can compete with Vandergelders, do you? Well, just you try. Aha! Another one come crawling, is it? What do you want?
My back salary for the past 4 months, $6.12.
You can't do this to me, any of you. I'll go to the courts, I'll get lawyers. I mean, not the court we were just at, but another one.
Why,
I mean-
Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't handsome in that outfit, so few men nowadays have the courage to wear fawn yellow and taupe.
Dolly Gallagher.
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have another girl for you, the ideal wife. But don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
Plus $6.12 of mine.
And the money my mama left me. $52.48.
38.
48.
All right, all right. If it's the money you want, the safe is upstairs.
You should have taken more. I've been saving this money since I was born.
So much.
$146.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that most people in the world are fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself. Yes, we're all fools, and we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in the world. And that takes a little money. Now, the difference between a little money and no money at all is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight, and that can shatter the world too. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband Ephraim Levi used to say, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around encouraging young things to grow. Anyhow, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, don't just stand there. That goes upstairs.
Well, Horace, as I was saying, I found you the ideal wife.
Dolly, Levi, I don't want you to find me no ideal wives. If I want an ideal wife, I'll find one on my own. And I found her, and it's you.
Why, Horace?
I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman. But Dolly, forgive me and marry me.
Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do, Horace, that you're the first citizen of Yonkers, and your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me. Am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, Horace, it won't be enough for you to load your wife with money and jewels, to insist that she be a benefactress to half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open a store right across the street from you. Better take him back and let him be your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now see here,
that
Dolly.
Way we'll all be together so we can dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
That does it. You've gone too far, Dolly. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to learn how. All right, I'll dance.
Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
Did you want the paint?
The front room, idiot! Well, go on. What are you waiting for?
Horace Vandergelder, what's going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have that front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace.
I know the old wallpaper isn't worn out yet, but that fella's just set up in business, and he needs a good start. You see, Dolly, I've always felt that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you. Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at. Horace, Dolly, you'll never go away.
wonderful woman.